Good evening from Nigeria. My name is Ikede Eloho. It's my first time of reaching you via video, and I'm hoping that this will be a continuous thing in the series I'll be talking about from time to time. Today, I want us to talk about how to overcome adversity. Those of us who live in this part of the world, West Africa to be precise, we are faced with daily challenges that often seem as if they want to overwhelm us. This has led to a lot of people traveling out of the country, relocating to other nations in search of greener pastures. But for those of us who are back home, we do tend to support each other in our African nature. We lend a hand where we can. We offer words of advice. We are guided by our culture, our tradition, and of course our strong Christian belief. I come from the southern part of Delta State. I'm an Isoko person, and we are predominantly Christians. The village I come from is called Bethel, and 80% of us there are of the Anglican faith. So quickly, let's look at the topic for today, which is how to overcome adversity. And I'm going to deal out a few points, and from there we'll talk further. Number one is to acknowledge and accept that you are having challenges. There is this denial syndrome in a lot of us where something is happening and we keep saying, no, it's a temporary thing, it's going to go away. I know that over time. But if we don't do something about it, it's not going to go away, it will remain there. So the number one thing is for us to accept that we are having challenges, we are under adversity. When you accept it, the white man says a problem identified is already half solved. So when you accept that you have a problem, you are halfway through getting a solution, because that is when you can now start asking questions. Number 2 points when you are faced with adversity is for you to stay positive. This is very, very, very important. I cannot overemphasize that. From personal experience, which I will, in time to come, I'll go into some of my personal experiences. But from personal experience, I can assure you that staying positive is very, very, very important. It's important for your spiritual health. It's important for your mental health. And it's important in terms of how you go about searching for solutions, so that you don't use one error to try and correct another error. You don't start entering more problems in the process of trying to look for solutions. So the second thing, like I said, is for you to stay positive, and then we will move to the third step. That is the third step to take when you are faced with adversity. Remember, number one is to acknowledge that you have a problem. Number two, stay positive. And number three is you break it down. Because like I said, sometimes when you are faced with multiple problems, it looks as if the world is crumbling down on you, and the first instinct you have is to give up. But that is not a solution. No solution has ever come from people trying to give up. So when you stay positive, the next thing you do is to break down the problems you are faced with. Which one, prioritize them. Which one is more important? Which one is threatening to swallow you up? But by the time you break it down, then you can now move to step number 4, which is to seek support. How do you know how to seek support? You start by asking questions. Ask people who have passed through similar situations. Ask people who are older than you, people who are more experienced. And of course, in advanced countries, you can seek professional support, you can seek professional help. Over here in Nigeria, where I stay, such professional help, they do exist, but a lot of people, apart from seeing the trained psychologist or counselor, a lot of people still go the traditional way in seeking advice and help from the elderly ones in our hometowns. I wouldn't say villages, because most of our hometowns have now become urban places. So you seek support from your elders, which is the African way. For those who are Christians or into one other religion or the other, you could seek support from your clergy, your spiritual leader. For the students, you could seek the support of your academic leader, your class rep, your lecturer, your dean of faculty, and all that. And of course, every school has a counseling department which handles, apart from academic issues, they do handle other challenges that the student may be having. So like I said, number 4 is to seek support. Let's quickly run through our steps again. Number 1 is to acknowledge that you have a problem. Number 2, stay positive. Number 3, break it down. And number 4, seek support, seek help, ask questions, and that will now take you to number 5. Because when you ask questions, you can't go wrong. If it's simple, if you have one problem and you ask 5 different people, 5 people who are not in the same place, 5 people who are experienced, out of the 5 of them, group the answers they've given you into, let's say, answers A and answers B. That is the answers that tend to tilt towards left or right. And definitely you are going to find that you will have maybe 3/2 in favor of one aspect or the other of the solution being proffered. And of course, as a researcher, I would suggest that you take the majority solution that has been proffered to that particular issue. The more issues, the more questions you have to ask. But remember, you have broken down these issues into which is threatening you most, which is more pressing, and start by tackling the most pressing one. I always believe that you should first attack that which gives you fear before you move towards that which you are comfortable with. So after seeking support and you have applied some of these advice that you've been given, some of the counsel you have received, when you start getting solution, remember the solution process is a gradual thing. It's just like healing. It's a gradual thing, and as you gradually heal and as you gradually overcome that adversity, you must learn to learn from your failures. When you learn from your failures, you first of all accept that you have failures, you have limitations. Now, when you learn from your failures, you can't go wrong a second time. Definitely, you can't go wrong a second time because it happened to you, and it was you who equally overcame that challenge. Okay, so like we said, you learn from your failures, and after that, the 6th step is for you to take steps to make sure that these same adversity and other problems that are alike in nature don't haunt you a second time or a third time, depending on how many times you've been afflicted by similar situations. So one thing you must do is to practice self-care. Protect yourself from the wrong crowd. Protect yourself from evil thoughts. Protect yourself from suicidal thoughts. This is very important. And when you practice self-care, you will discover that mentally and spiritually, you will be a calmer person and you will begin to experience peace. You will begin to experience peace. So after that, after having said all this, on a final note, I want to tell you that when you practice self-care, you try and refrain from the elements that took you to that dark place in the first place. It may involve cutting off some friends, it may involve cutting off certain places, it may even involve geographical relocation. It all depends. And it is my prayer that with these few words I've shared with you, you will be on your gradual journey to healing. Thank you very much. Remember, my name is Eloho Ekede. See you next time. Bye.